And we're live.
Yeah, like when if I'm at work, I'll have some coffee just because it's so easy to use the Keurig machine, you know, where you're like, may as well just make one, like cup in, hit the button. But there's definitely, if I have 2 little cups of coffee, I'm jittery, and I can drink this thing in half an hour and just be fine.
There's a reason every place of employment gives free coffee. That's just like employee productivity juice. Like, would you like to take this drug? Yeah, here's some amphetamines. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should just have like Adderall and coffee in the break room.
Yeah, if I started my own company, it would just be a bowl of Adderall with like the Adderall sign rubbed off of it so that people like take it not knowing. Oh, Jesus, what's that? Oh, that's a little bit of Adderall. Didn't taste like a mint, did it? I don't know how people take those pills every day.
Adderall
it's
pills?
Mine like if
You
the couple
the
times I take them in college where it was like, God, I need to study, and someone who had it's like, here, take this. It was an uncomfortable level of focus, at least in my head, where I would take it and then I'd be studying, and then almost like some, like the guy in Memento with a memory problem, I just come to in the kitchen scrubbing my counters. Like it has to be perfect, has to be so fucking clean, and then I'll appear in the bathroom like scrubbing the toilet. Like you can't stop moving on that stuff. It's just a whole dynamic.
I like to work out on Adderall. Like if I'm going to do like a workout that I particularly don't like if I'm going to do a circuit workout, or if it's like leg day and it's time to like actually do fucking deadlifts, I'm on Adderall. I'm like, oh, these are kind of fun. No, they're not. It's fucking Adderall's great for workouts. If you take it every day, you definitely build up a tolerance, and it loses a little of that magic. The trick is to use it. Does it
make you feel anxious? Like, does it make you feel like your hands have to be busy and you have to, like,
Dude,
at all?
I'll be honest. It makes me feel like I'm a demigod. It makes me if I'm not taking it regularly, which I'm not. I've got a bottle upstairs with 30 pills in it of 10 milligrams apiece. I take it maybe twice a month. I'll take one in the morning, and if it's a long day, I'll take another like 5 or 6 hours later. I feel like there's nothing I can't do. I mean, if it's a physical activity, a mental activity, if it's a problem where I see 2 or 3 other people are struggling to figure something out, I'm like, I am here. You fools. Let's get this joint put on there. They were trying that exact thing has happened before. Adderall's great. I can't speak highly enough about how nice Adderall is in short doses.
A huge fan.
Big fan. Don't snort it though.
Didn't notice the difference. Yeah,
snorting it doesn't seem like you're gonna go from snorting anything to being like, let's get those taxes knocked out. Like, no, you're gonna go do something that probably not helpful.
Yeah, probably gonna make some bad life decisions if you're snorting it.
Yeah, that's definitely a drug that, like, maybe like using it like you said makes sense to me. Like, I still don't think I'd want to, but there's like it's a true blue thing that growing up with kids who were on Adderall or on Ritalin at the time for years, like their personality was different. Like I had friends who like in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, like you end up going over to their house on a weekend and you're like, what the fuck? Who are you? Like, who is the guy who's like kind of chill and in class and quiet and, I'm the more energetic one. And now it's on the weekend and this kid's lighting his cat on fire and doing all sorts of shit. Like it really does. It changes your personality.
I'm not sure if that was Adderall, if he's lighting cats on fire. That's bath salts.
If he's on Ritalin, then he's settling down for school, right? He's hyperactive. So you're catching him not on Ritalin. Aren't you just catching his real personality?
Yeah, exactly. You're catching the real person. That's why
you're catching a counterbalanced version of his personality, where it's free. It's running free now. Because it's been tamped down all day by the stimulant.
Maybe, but the way he phrased it was like Ritalin changed him. It just seemed like
it does change you. Like if 5 days out of the week you're not the real you, when does that become the real you?
That's a solid point.
In a way, it is. It's just kind of, it's another fucked up thing. Like you're guaranteed to be shorter and be smaller than you otherwise would have taking Ritalin or any kind of one of those pills if you're through those formative ages, apparently, because first of all, it's speed. So it's going to get rid of your appetite. And it's also going to, there's something else that it did that I need to look into. But yeah, it's just, so many friends who regret having them put on that when it was just like basically a parent when they were 7 being told like your 7-year-old boy doesn't like to sit still for long periods of time. They're like, oh, we better medicate him. You know, that's clearly not normal. You know, all the girls have no problem sitting there being bored all day.
How interesting would it be if they modified school so that boys could be more successful? So
that's how it used to be, and then they changed the format and the way that
that's what Milo says. But how did they change it?
They changed the testing to be about curriculum work more than exam work. They changed the balance of how much those two things would affect your grade.
Daily schoolwork is now heavily favored compared to exams, and daily schoolwork is something that girls do better at in those young ages because girls are more organized at that age. They're more mature. They're better at just kind of getting that stuff done, whereas young boys are just animals, just running around. They're not going to pay attention. Oh, you have to finish your reading assignment, little Steve.
Really? Because a million years worth of evolution teaches me I should be learning to swing a stick as hard as I fucking can right now, or I'm going to die.
Yeah. Everything in my body tells me I want to play with those blocks over there, but I guess what you're saying, I need to pay attention to this booklet, you know?
Yeah, they need to be out there fucking building shit and like learning math. Like I feel like I would love to see that experiment in some sort of charter school or something, where like some private school where like, you know, for math, let's have them do construction projects. There's tons of math in construction. You get out a measuring tape. I mean, you want to talk about learning fractions? You know, some people struggle with learning fractions. You get out that measuring tape, you're going to learn fast. I mean, it's one big fraction.
Yeah.
And if you mess
really
up,
should have more stuff
and when you get the wrong answer, you don't have to go to a teacher to find out. You're like, no, that was wrong. That is definitely wrong. Let's go back to the drawing board and cut again.
That'd be cool. And over like a couple, 15 years later, the recess is just littered with tree houses everywhere. It looks like a Brazilian slum.
Yeah,
Or what we did like at my high school is like all the projects that we would create in our welding, automotive, and wood shop classes, and we made big projects. We would build like very long cattle trailers, the kind you would see going down the road pulled behind a fifth wheel truck full of cows. We'd build those from scratch with just steel stock. You know, we cutting the steel to length, welding it together. We'd build gazebos. I'm sure we all know what that is, like a backyard little hangout spot. And auction those off. We built all that stuff and sell it, and then that funding went right back into our program. So like we had the best shit. We had the best welders. We had the best nail guns. We had the best saws. Like there was no like wanting for anything.
But like what you were saying of like the practicality of building helped you understand all that shit. Like you learned better because there was number one like a physical tangible payoff that you have a vested interest in getting it, and then you're actually building it. Like you learn stuff better when you're doing it with your hands and like getting that muscle memory in a way.
Well, my dad always made me learn like around the household like skills like plumbing and basic electrical and carpentry because like he's kind of got a self-reliance thing about him, and he wouldn't want to call somebody to come fucking fix a piece of 3/4 inch pipe that's cracked under his house. It's just like, come on, this is a 10-minute job that requires 3 different tools. Let's just learn how to do it. And I don't know. So I guess I learned a lot of things like that growing up that were probably somewhat educational. But by the time I was in high school, I knew my fractions, and I didn't, you know, I could operate the measuring tape anyway. There were guys who couldn't, though. There were plenty of guys that I remember in that construction class that you'd have to measure their fucking wood for them.